Boil and bubble and toil and trouble. Gizzard soup. La la la, la la la. Anybody remember Young Frankenstein? Whoa, the hot and drip spilling soup. Good morning, everybody. Ma Terry here, along with our fabulous co-stars, Miss Lucy and Shelby, and it's feeding time. What are we up to today? Hi, what we're up to is, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. Marie over at RV Camper, C-A-M-P-H-E-R, posted a recipe on hot and sweet and sour cabbage soup. And I'm like, oh, that's great, except for Mr. Louie bought me a couple of pounds of gizzards. Now, my mom has this fabulous gizzard soup recipe. You're looking at me. Wait, did I lose you? Like, what are gizzards? Well, gizzards are the innards of chicken, and I've eaten this all my life. And, you know, chicken has a certain texture, and so do gizzards. Now then, I decided what I'm going to do is combine Mom's gizzard soup recipe with Marie's hot and sour soup, cabbage soup, and see what we can come up with. So I'll show you what we're doing. Let's spin it around. Here we go. All right, so the reason why I have gizzards, this is like a pound, and gizzards cost $1.79 a pound, so that's a pretty economical way to go. What I'm going to do is rinse them and put them in the pot, and I'll give you the recipe at the end. And in the pot, I have about 4 cups of water. I'm going to add a little bit more since, you know, I have more gizzards than I want to have. And let's go with the recipe now. So we're going to add gizzards to the pot, and I'm going to show you all this. We're going to chop a half an onion. We're going to chop down some cabbage. Now then, also I need a 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice. I do not have any ground allspice, I found out, so I'm going to put some cinnamon and some poultry seasoning in. That should be good. Also to the recipe, 14 ounce can of stewed tomatoes, petite diced. Well, I got those. Good enough, right? And then the original recipe called for 1/8 cup of brown sugar. Well, I'm going to do a combination of some monk fruit and some brown sugar. That's what I'm going to do. And don't worry, we'll do it together. 1/8 cup of red and white vinegar, salt and pepper to taste. We did 3.5 cups of water, and she had added beef bouillon because that person was making short ribs. I'm not. I'm making gizzard soup. So if you want to take a screenshot, there's the recipe right there. And I'm not sure, I might add a potato or two. Y'all know I love my potatoes. So let's get started, okay? Alrighty, so first thing I'm going to do is I have my sink here. I'm going to rinse the gizzards, and when I'm done rinsing the gizzards, all right, are you curious as to what a gizzard looks like? I hope you're not grossed out. Now, my mom usually would get the gizzards and the hearts, but basically, that's what they look like right there. It's a good thing. So I'm going to rinse these real good, and then I'm going to add to the pot. Yeah, I'm thinking I need some more water. I am thinking I'm going to need some more water. So when they're all rinsed and added to the pot, we shall continue. Let me rinse my hands real good, and I will boop you. Boop. There's the recipe if you want to take a screenshot. So let's begin. It's pretty simple, huh? All right, so if you want to make the hot and sour soup, sweet and sour soup without the gizzards, cook it for at least an hour. An hour is good enough to get this cabbage nice and mushy. If you want to do it with the gizzards, that's why I'm starting to boil the gizzards first before I'm adding a bunch of stuff to it. Gizzards take normally boiled, you know, not fast boil or anything, you know, a slow boil. Gizzards take about an hour and a half to cook. And, you know, you always test your food with a food thermometer. Now then, people write in like, how thick should I make the onions? How big should I make the slices? You can make them any size you want to. You can add more onions, less onions. You're free. You're free. You don't have to stick to the recipe. Well, you do have to stick to the part to, you know, you want to make sure the gizzards are well cooked. Yeah, you never want to eat, is it organ meat? Yeah, you never want to eat organ meat raw. So let me zoom in on what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just getting the wrapper off the onion. why did I decide to do this recipe? You know, and a lot of it is people don't eat gizzards. You know, a lot of the younger people, they're going to be like, ah, but my mom was raised, you know, she's a what was that called when everybody was starving to death? The Great Depression. So during the Great Depression, they ate basically anything. So yeah, so that's why my mom will eat it. Oh my gosh, this onion is making my eyes tear. And I know why, because I cut it the wrong way. Gosh darn it. All right, isn't this a lovely head of cabbage? I saw this, I got this at the commissary, and I simply had to have it. I'm not a big cabbage eater, but I should. It's very healthful. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it up as best as I can. It's going to go everywhere, but it's going to taste really, really good. I've already used some of it in making Chinese food, and it was so funny. The other day, I saw this at the commissary. It was Le Choy. Remember those Chungking commercials from the 70s? Well, I decided to get that. No, it was over at Walmart. I decided to get a bunch of Le Choy products, and their whole thing is they're health food. There's no chemicals, you know, non-whatever, non-this, non-that. So it's like, all right, I'll get that. So that was pretty good. I was really impressed. All right, so there we go. I'm chopping this. One of the things I enjoy about being here is I like cooking. I don't know what I'm doing. I've not really worked with a lot of cabbage, so I'm just, you know, muddling through it, just like a lot of people out there. But it's looking good. I think it's looking good, right? Oh my gosh, this is fun. It is an art and craft, it really is. Maybe I should have used a bigger cutting board. I don't know about that. Oh man. But I like making a mess too. That's the fun of art, making a mess. All right, looking good. Yeah, that'll all fall apart. So let me get my coriander and rinse it. Yeah, that was a lot. It's amazing how that little head of cabbage produced all this. And you know what? If I don't have enough water in the pot to cook this, I'll just add more water. Like I said, Louis is really good at figuring out what a recipe needs. You know, nothing's perfect. I mean, this cabbage may not have any taste or be flavorful. You know, it depends. So, you know, you do have to cook like that. You can follow a recipe as best as you can. There we go. Rinse it some more. I'm just trying to get the dirt off of it. Why? I'll tell you why. Give me a second. I know a lot of people are worried about germs. Well, if you cook this at 1,000 degrees, most germs can't live, so I don't worry about germs. Let me grab this. All right, I'm going to add this to my pot. Hold on. All right, there we go. Now the water is almost to a boil. Yay, the onions are looking nice. I'll probably have to add some water to this. I don't care. This will all melt down. Oh my gosh. I'm really making a big batch of soup, aren't I? Yes, I am. That'll all cook down, hopefully. But it's looking good in there. It really is. Woo! There you go. Everybody getting there. Did I boop yet? Yes, I did. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit more water to this, but like I said, it's going to cook down. It'll be so nice when it's done. Maybe I'm making a stew. Who knows, right? Boop. All right, here's a pro tip if you don't know it. If you're afraid of your water boiling over, put a wooden spoon right there and it won't. I've done that many a times and it does not boil over. But it's looking really good, huh? That'll boil off. That'll be nice. I just wanted to say, look at that beautiful oil that's being released from the chicken, the gizzards, and there's one that floated to the top. But believe it or not, stuff like that's supposed to have a lot of vitamins in it for you, and it's supposed to be good. So hopefully it smells absolutely amazing. It really does. I did go ahead and add a couple of carrots. Not going to add the potato. All right, so this has been boiling for about half an hour and it's looking really good. So I just added the 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice. Next, I'm going to add my 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar and sugar mixture. Now the sugar I'm using is monk fruit in the raw, and this is a 1-to-1. So basically what I have is half regular brown sugar, and half of the monk fruit. Just going to dump that in. This is my 1/8 of a cup of red wine vinegar. Oh my gosh, it smells so heavenly. Something tells me we're going to have a winner. Add some salt and pepper to taste. And then there's 1 bouillon cube, 2 bouillon cubes. I like it needs salt, but I love salt. Anyhow, so I'm going to give that a good stir and come back and check it in about a half an hour. It's looking really good. All right, you want to see? Fine, I'll show you. Doesn't this just look amazing? So I just put in all the other ingredients and I wish you had smell-o-vision because it smells so good. It really does. It's going to be good. Oh my gosh, did you forget to add in the stewed tomatoes? Don't forget to add in the stewed tomatoes. How many times do I got to tell you? Don't worry, I got it. It has an hour left to cook. Oh my gosh, this is going to be fantastic. Alrighty, so all the ingredients have been in. I'm going to put it for an additional hour, and I'm going to put it to a slow rolling boil. That should do it. So the total time with the gizzards is at least an hour and a half. But the last part is I added the stewed tomatoes and spices. Alrighty. Hello, our gizzard soup has been cooking for an hour and a half now. The cabbage looks wonderful. I'll show you in a minute. But what we're going to do is I'm going to remove a gizzard. Need the gizzard remover tool. We want to check the temperature. We want to make sure that is okie dokie. So there we go. And where's my little temperature thing? Looks good, doesn't it? My little temperature thing. We want to make sure it's at least 167 degrees, and that's my plate. Let's get that in. It's 174. So it's doing great. It's doing great. It's done. Yay! All right, next thing I'm going to do is plate it, and let's have some gizzard soup. You can see it has greatly simmered down, but this is what it looks like. Gizzards, some carrots in there, stewed tomatoes. I can't wait to test it, taste it. Yeah. All right, I just want to say, like, this is a whole gizzard. All right, I don't eat like that, so what I'm going to do is, once my soup cools down, I'm going to cut all my little gizzards apart and make them reasonable sized chewing pieces. But I'm going to plate it now. I look a mess. All right, so I've been cooking in the kitchen all day. All right, so let's try our hot and sour gizzard soup. So first I'm going to taste the gizzard. See, I cut it down to a little thing. Really nice, soft, tender. Like I said, they go for like a good hour and a half to get them that tender. That is delicious. The soup base is wonderful. And even though I wasn't that exact, a little of this, a little of that, we got to have another sample. Oh, man. You know what? Bon appetit, everybody. It's that good. Bye. And healthy.